Hello marketing class. This video is going to demonstrate the assignment 6S with the cover letter portion. I know in your text it has you doing this through OpenOffice Writer, and if you prefer to use that program, that is fine. But most of you will probably use Microsoft Word, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. Demonstrate this with Microsoft Word. So if you want to use OpenOffice, you can go through the instructions and complete it that way, or you can watch this video and do it in Microsoft Word. So the very first thing we're going to do with Word open is right away we're going to save our file under our Marketing 2 class, however you have, if you have folders or whatever, that's fine. But we're naming this cover_letter and hit save. So we're writing this cover letter for the internship job posting found in lesson 1 of section 6. And here's the job description. This internship is an opportunity to explore the high-tech professional world. Gives you some examples of what you're expected to do: sort and file office materials, assist with preparation of project schedules, send emails, communication tasks, team meetings, yada yada. And then it has a list of specific qualifications that they're looking for in the applicants. So with that job description, we're going to cater this cover letter to match that job description as much as possible. And the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to format this properly in everything. So the very first thing is we're going to select no spacing because we want it single spaced all the way through the letter with a double space in between paragraphs that we can punch in on our own. So with our cover letter, we're going to create the heading first, and your text has some specific information they want you to type in. So we are using the date of July 15th, 2011. And then we enter twice before we put in our own name and address. So you can use your own name. They want you to use this specific address: 123 Example Street, Example Town, Washington, 98102. Just for privacy reasons, which we're not very creative in coming up with these new names. Okay, so we have our name and our address, and then we want to make sure to include our phone number so that they can get a hold of us, and an email address. So here you should be using the professional email address that you created in the last section. Okay, and so once we have our information in there, we enter down twice and we type in the name and address of the company that we are applying with. And if it gives you a specific name, which this one does, Jacob Reese, Bayview Technical Services, 41 Elliott Street, Seattle, has 2 T's. Okay, and that's our heading for this letter. If you would like, instead of typing out your name and contact information here, you could create a letterhead up at the top of the page, which would be strongly encouraged. I showed you guys mine a couple weeks ago. So if you have a letterhead, that looks a lot more professional, and you can put your information up here at the top, and then the date, and then the return address, or you can do it this way. Either way is fine. So now we'll go into the introduction. Since we've finished our heading, we're going to go into the greeting and introduction of our cover letter. So we always want to start with Dear Mr. Reese and the name that you're using. And then always have a formal business letter, you use a colon after their name instead of a comma. Then return twice more. And we're going to begin the first paragraph of this cover letter, which is still kind of our introduction. And the first sentence should tell Mr. Reese that you are applying for the intern position and that you heard about the job on monster.com. So they give you an example paragraph that looks like this. Okay, so I read about the intern position on monster.com and would like to be considered for the job. So you're telling them that you're interested in this position, where you heard about it, and that you would like to be considered. Next, we're going to type a sentence with 2 reasons as to why you would be a good fit for the position. So, for example, my computer skills and positive attitude make me a good match for this position. So that's a good way to do it. Computer skills, positive attitude, and then the next couple paragraphs will go into detail about why those specific skills match this position. So after that, we're going to enter down twice and start the body paragraphs of our cover letter. It says, type the first sentence of the first body paragraph with an example of why you're qualified. So for example, my positive attitude would make me a good fit for this job. Okay, so they get you started, and then eventually you're going to add more to this paragraph with some of your own personal reasons as to why you would be a good fit. So it starts you off with that paragraph, then it also starts you with the next paragraph saying, let's see here, my strong computer skills would be an asset to your company. And then they'll go on, then they'll continue to have you list some more examples when you get to the add-on portion of assignment 6S. So that's a good start to the body of our letter, which you will add to in assignment 6S. Now we'll go ahead and put in the closing. So with the closing, you kind of restate again what the skills were that you talked about in the letter, and explain that you look forward to hearing more and to discuss the position, and thank them for their time. Okay, so I typed my closing paragraph, and then we just need to add on our signature. So enter down twice from your closing paragraph and type sincerely, comma, and then space down 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and type your name. And the reason we space down 4 times is so that you have enough space so that when you print it, you will actually sign in this area. So make sure you leave yourself enough space to sign your name and then type your name below it. So once you're got all that taken care of, double check your work, make sure it is single spaced, make sure it has a heading and an introduction with the greeting. We have the first couple sentences of our 2 body paragraphs. We have a closing, and we have our signature line. So that's as much as the cover letter that they have you do within the lesson. And then for assignment 6S, you're going to add on a couple things. You're going to add at least 1 sentence to the first body paragraph that continues to explain why you're a good fit for that position. And then you're also going to add at least 1 sentence to the second body paragraph, continuing to explain your qualifications. So once you've done that, make sure you're proofreading everything. You're checking for spelling, punctuation, spacing, capitalization, and grammar. And kind of go over this checklist here before you submit it. And you're actually going to attach this to the practice formatting file that I will be going over in the next video.